eat. Have an emmertje. Volgens mij heb ik alles wel een beetje zo gedaan. Ja. Hi, good morning. Welcome back to our Portuguese homestead. So it's been getting very cold. This weekend we even have a weather warning for some extreme weather. It's gonna be like cold wind and snow. Not here though. It's coming from the north, so we're kind of protected by all the mountains that there are up north. I can actually see some snow on the mountains over there, which I'll try to show you later if it's clear enough. But it's very much a stay indoors, keep Puck warm kind of day, keep myself warm. And it's just once again been kind of a messy week. I just washed my hair, as you saw, and Puck helped me, of course. It's impossible to not have her help you with anything. So now she's having a bath indoors. She can still sit in the tub, so that's great, and it's nice and warm here. We have the fire on. Yeah. She has some ducks, about which she's very enthusiastic. Anyway, so what today's theme, as you can see in the title, is do it yourself. And for us, the approach that we have taken to this lifestyle, if you want to call it that, is that we do a lot ourselves, as you would have seen, which takes up a lot of time. Even in like the basic things like cooking 3 meals a day from scratch. I always used to do that, but now you don't have the option to get a takeaway or delivery. That was great before. Now we don't really have that option. So it takes up a lot of time. And then I'm not so technically minded, which is probably a bad excuse, but Martin has been trying to repair a lot of things, so he's really gotten to know the strimmer. And this week we also had some trouble with the washing machine. It broke down, and now we realized that it's a part that it's very hard to replace, so we'll have to look into a new one for us at least. So but I'll show you the washing machine later, because Martin took it apart for parts. The thing I'm doing myself today, which is something that I've already done before, is cut my own hair. I usually have my hair up now, just because I can't bother to like do it up every day. But I do have wavy / curly hair, which is already very hard to get cut well. I've had many bad haircuts. So then last year I decided I'm just gonna try and do it myself. It turned out fine. At least not worse than some of the haircuts that I've had. Honestly, YouTube is such a great resource. I just looked up a couple videos on YouTube about how to cut your own hair if you have wavy hair or curly hair. And that's what I did. I'm once again blabbering a little bit. If you want to hear more of that, today a video went live on my pregnancy and my birth plan, for as far as you can make a plan. So if you didn't see that, which is totally possible because YouTube has not been pushing out my videos as much. Do go check that out. I posted it Friday, which is today. If you're curious about how we're doing all that by ourselves. Spoiler alert, we're not doing it all by ourselves. I had a time that my haircut was about 50 euros per time. She would wash it and do everything, and she was a curl expert. And those were some of the best haircuts I ever had, but also quite expensive. So this is quick, easy. You don't have to talk to anyone except for your toddler. Nee, Puk, nee. Oh, Puk, hou nou op. Dan heb je een hele pluk eruit geknipt. This is our washing machine right now. What used to be our washing machine. It's great. Heb je blokje erin gedaan?
It's a very cold morning, hence the hat. But we have broken down or deconstructed our laundry machine or washing machine because it wasn't working anymore. The belt came off, and when you started turning the drum, you felt like it was really hard to turn. So I figured it must have been the bearings that were done for. So I started to deconstruct it as far as I needed to before getting to the bearings, which happened to be destroying the whole washing machine because the front was actually welded to the rest of the structure, and it's a fully encased drum. So the drum is in here, and for the front to come off, you had to get everything off. Where were we? Okay, the drum. For the drum to come undone, the vessel, the whole thing needed to come apart, and then I could see that the bearings were terrible and there's lots of muck in there, so the seal must have worn down over the years, and that seal was on the axle, and the axle was actually already rusted through, or almost rusted through, so we couldn't use it anymore. So now it has become a fire pit, and this will be used for something else, I guess. We still have the heating element in there that needs to come out, and I took out the motor. We might be able to use that for some other project in the future, and we'll just have to look out for a new washing machine. If it has a broken motor, we could install this motor that we have, or we'll just find a new one, from around 100 euros, and we'll use that. A new
second-hand one.
Yeah.
New for us.
New for us. But yeah, this is it.
This is now the washing machine.
Yeah.
Just parts. This is ice.
went to Portugal, goddammit.
I thought it was always warm here. Good morning. Whee! It's the next day. I think this vlog will not be very long because all the things that I had planned or that we had planned to do this week kind of fell through, and then the car wouldn't start, so we couldn't get more materials, etc. So it's been a bit of a messy week. And then it got really cold. Yesterday it was some type of cold front coming from the north. I'm not into it. I was never into winter. I can see the snow. There's kind of like whatever that's called on the grass and stuff. So it's cold. So we have the fire on all day now, which is great. And we are just so thankful to have the yurts, because it's really... you can warm it up really nicely. Some of you asked about heating the yurts sometimes. It's quite easy to heat it. We don't have a massive stove anymore, just a small one, and it yeah, maybe takes half an hour with the fire on for it to get like comfortable, and then during the night we just it goes out the fire, and then it does kind of get cold inside, not so cold as outside, but it definitely doesn't keep the heat as well as a proper house. But I think it's maybe kind of similar to a cabin, or depending on the insulation that you have. So yeah, we have double insulation, felt insulation. It's just that all the windows on the top are single. So at some point it does get cold. It does take a couple hours. Anyway, so we're so thankful to have the yurt in the winter, especially, so that we have a nice warm dry place where Puck can play with all her things. She feels really betrayed by the warmth, or by the cold. She goes outside, she's like, why are my hands so cold? Ga je dat allemaal overal naartoe tillen? Oeh. Very busy. Anyway, one of the things that I'm very bad at plugging, next to not always being a great vlogger, is that we have a Patreon. And they're kind of combined in the sense that I'm not always great at vlogging, because the camera that we have is a very heavy, big camera that doesn't have an autofocus. So it's not ideal for filming, especially not like on the go, just put it in your bag and go film. So we're trying to save up for a new one, a new second-hand camera maybe. But the kind of level that we want to go to do need a little bit of money that we don't have right now. We're still building everything, so we're not on a massive budget at the moment. So one of the pledges on my Patreon is to get a new camera once we get a certain amount of patrons. So I forgot the number. Because if we get more patrons, then we're really able to save up and kind of invest back into the channel. So if you want to support us and help us in that way, you can find the link for my Patreon in the description box down below. Patreon is really a way for small creators like us to kind of make enough money to keep doing this full time. Because AdSense from YouTube is great, but it's not enough if you're a small channel like us. views would kind of have to triple, I think, for it to be a good, well, at least a good enough income. So that's a little peek into the YouTuber part of this lifestyle that we've created here. And next to YouTube, we're also working on some other projects that I really hope to start sharing soon. It's coming to a close and therefore coming to a beginning. But they all have to do with natural products, like the olive oil, so that always takes a little bit of time to start making you money, which is great because that's the kind of product that we want to sell, or that we believe in, but it takes time. But if you can't support us through Patreon, I totally understand. Commenting, liking, subscribing, all that stuff helps and is really appreciated. Finally, sometimes I get asked, do you have an Amazon wish list? I don't. I totally understand the question, but I'm not a fan of Amazon, hopefully for obvious reasons. I mean, I understand why people order there, but if I can not do that, I prefer not to do that. So then I try to look for an alternative, but so far as I can see, there's not really one. I was thinking maybe where you could make a list from different local Portuguese websites to order things. There doesn't seem to be one. So if you want to create that or know of something like that, do let me know in the comments. That would be awesome. I think it would be really a great alternative to the giant that is Amazon. Yeah, for people who are not a fan of that. We do have a PO box. Not that I'm begging for money and gifts right now, but sometimes I get the question, so I want to start reminding you that it's there. The Patreon, we have a PayPal as well, the PO box. It's all in the description box down below. We appreciate anything we get, of course, but don't feel obligated for anything. So our lens is actually not good enough to actually zoom into the mountains more than this, but you can see a little bit on the top there. There's some white spots, so it's quite unusual for it to be white over there, and then there in that dip usually you can see the Serra da Estrela. Some of that is cloud, but most of that is actually just the whole Serra full of snow. So last year when we were also already here, you could see a little bit on the top every now and then. Now it's the whole mountain range. So it's not always warm in Portugal. We bought some oak wood, just because we didn't get around to chopping our own wood, and it burns really nicely and for a long time. So this is our stove. It's not pretty, but it works. Yeah. Yes, I know it's messy over there.
Ja, boy, appel.
Appel gaat erin. Oeh. Oh, pas op hè met deze. Goed. So I can see the mountains from our window, and lots of the snow is gone except for on the Serra da Estrela.
Ow.
I hate snow. I'm happy it's not here. We won't be going skiing on Saturday. Nee, het is goed zo, Puk. Maybe Martin will go by himself one day. Yeah, hij loopt. But I hate snow. Okay, that was the video for today. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And extra big thank you to all the people who already support us on Patreon. And I'll see you guys next week.